I wanted to put two of the most popular curl clumping methods to the test and find out which creates the ultimate results. I'm going to brush style one side of my hair and I'm going to bowl method the other. I'll use exactly the same products on both sides, so this just comes down to method. Right, let's do this. I start with Ceremonia's leave-in detangler and heat protectant spray. I apply really liberally all over my hair. I make sure I get a very good coverage on the ends, but also because I'm experiencing a lot of new growth and grey hairs, I make sure I get it on my roots too. This helps tame the halo frizz and shorter hairs, but doesn't make my hair greasy or oily. I'll show you in detail the two curl clamping methods I'm using today. So if you're not already familiar with these techniques, you will definitely learn two different ways you can style your waves and curls by the time you finish watching this video. First up, I need to carefully section my hair into two sides, so I thoroughly brush and then twist back my right side. I'm going to do the bowl method on that section and brush styling on my left side. I'm going to use just two styling products today, and I'm going to be very specific about how I use and apply them, which I will fully explain. And I'm going to start with a curl cream. I love a curl cream, but how you apply curl cream is super important. This is Curlsmith's Hold Me Softly Balm. This is my top tip for applying product, and it's particularly helpful for looser wave patterns. Squeeze out a small amount of product into one hand and then take your other hand and run it under water, or like I have here, plunge it into a basin of water. Then rub your hands together, emulsifying the product. This will help to dilute the product, and emulsifying it helps to ensure that you get a good even distribution over your entire hair rather than one section getting all of the product and then others not getting any at all. I like to rake it through, lifting the hair up, out and away from my scalp as I rake, and this will help achieve root lift and some texture. I then always brush through to further ensure I've got a really good even coverage. And if you've seen any other videos, you will know that I use my beloved wet brush to do this. Because I'm brush styling on this side, I'm now sectioning again. I clip the top layers out of the way, and finally I'm ready to start. To brush style your waves and curls, pick up a section of hair. Firstly, brush through the section of hair. This helps smooth down the hair cuticles for less frizz. Then place the brush at the roots of the section, and I like to place my hand over the top to help keep tension on the hair. Brush out and away from the scalp, slightly twisting as you go through the hair. I then take my fingers and hold the curl clump near the roots and lightly shake. This further encourages the natural wave pattern to clump together. I then gently scrunch. Just keep repeating this technique until the lower section is done, and then I like to gather all the curl clumps together and scrunch again. If you are a fan of brush styling but don't always have the time, you may want to check out my video that I'll link here for you guys. It's an incredibly easy hair hack to make brush styling super fast. I'm using a boar bristle brush. It's a really good option for wavy hair textures as it's very gentle to hair while still allowing you to get a good tension which is needed for brush styling method. However, you can also do this with a paddle brush, tangle teaser, Denman or the bounce curl brush. Anything that's not vented and is good at gently detangling and won't snag your hair will work for this brush styling method. If I brush style in a small section, I get tighter curls like this, or with bigger sections, I get a softer wave like this. It just comes down to personal preference and also perhaps what you fancy that day. On to the next section, and I simply undo the clip, let the hair fall and just separate out the front piece of hair, as I always style that section last. Now I continue with the brush styling method for the rest of my hair. I'll speed this part up for you guys. I find I get much better results from having very wet hair when I style. Now my hair is still super wet at this point, but if you feel like yours is drying out, use a continuous spray bottle to rehydrate your waves and curls. I promise it will massively help reduce frizz. Again, once all the pieces have been brush styled, I like to gather all the curl clumps together and scrunch and pulse. I find this helps to stop my hair looking too separated or piecey. I'm doing the exact same brush styling method on the front section. I just take a little bit more care here and I twist it a bit more onto the handle of the brush. I always pay more attention to these pieces as they frame your face, and let's be honest, it's what you see most when you look in the mirror. Now scrunch all the hair together gently and then micro plop with a soft t-shirt or microfiber towel. This will really help to add some definition to your waves and just remove any excess moisture and product. Second and final product, and it's a stronghold gel from Giovanni. I am loving this gel at the moment. I use the exact same application technique as with the curl cream, squeeze a little onto my hand, add water with the other, rub between my hands, but then this time, instead of raking, I gently glaze over my waves and then scrunch. Usually I would have plopped my hair for about 15 minutes or so and then applied my gel, but that's impossible due to the head-to-head battle. So we are ready for bowl method. Just something to note, guys, I'm not actually a huge fan of this method. Here are my first time results. Too much volume for me on top and it made such a mess in my bathroom. So I altered this method and I used to do a kind of weird version where I would side dunk into a basin. That way I got to maintain my centre parting and I didn't end up so voluminous on top, plus it was nothing like as messy. I've got a video showing my technique, so I'll link it here. But to keep this as fair as possible, I am using a bowl today and I do my absolute best to dunk, film, scrunch and for the most part stay on camera. I'm sorry guys, there are parts where I do disappear. This took work, honestly. Anyway, curl cream, same amount, same application method. Rake first and then use my wet brush for even distribution. This really isn't necessary because with the bowl method, the product is going to completely cover your hair when you dunk, but I wanted to keep everything the same to keep it fair. Okay, so now I dunk my hair into cool water in the bowl and then scrunch and pulse. Dunk, scrunch and pulse, dunk, scrunch and pulse. It's easy, but it's hard work if you see what I mean. I'm sorry you can't get a really good view of this technique, so here's a little clip of my method, which is basically the same principle. For a long time after embracing my waves, I did use my alternative bowl method to create my curl clumps, but for quite a few months now, I've been either only brush styling or just sometimes even simply scrunching without any curl clumping methods. The bowl method definitely creates amazing curl clumps. Plus, I think it also helps your hair get more hydration because by the time you've done multiple dunks, that water is now a conditioner curl cream mix. That's got to be some lovely hydrating, moisturising water right there. After you've dunked several times, and personally I don't think there is a magic number, it's somewhere between 3 to 5 times for me, I just assess how my curl clumps are looking and once I'm happy, I stop dunking and scrunch the curl clumps. Then I microplop again using my microfiber towel, but you can just use a soft t-shirt for this part. This side is definitely much wetter than the side that I brush styled. I now apply gel, again in exactly the same method to keep things consistent, and I'm ready to get these curl clumps dry. I'm not going to make you watch that part, it's boring enough doing it, let alone watching it, so I'll go and get my hair fully dry and come back and show you guys the results. Just before I go, I wanted to show you guys the difference between the sides while they're wet. So here are the curl clumps from the bowl method. Very juicy, large, wave-like curl clumps. And the brush styling, more curl definition, more variation and some spiral patterns. So now I'm going to go and dry. Fully dry now, but I haven't scrunched out the crunch. There's lots of variation of curls on the brush styling side. Smaller pieces, some spiral, some curls, some waves. Pretty with nice definition. Bowl method side, much more wave pattern than curl on this side. Very shiny finish, perhaps less volume than the brush styling at this stage. Favourite part now, let's scrunch out the crunch and shake out those roots. I use oil for this and I don't worry if it contains silicone, I'll be honest. I don't personally follow strict wavy girl, curly girl methods. I just avoid sulfates for the most part. I aim to use only water-based silicones, but I don't get too hung up on it, and I've got old products that I'm not going to let go to waste, such as here my favourite L'Oreal Elixir oil that I'm using to scrunch out the crunch. It's really lovely, very hydrating, it leaves a gorgeous shine and tames halo frizz. I mean, yes please to all of that. I scrunch the product in and I shake out the roots. I personally don't like my curls to look too defined. I actually quite like a little bit of frizz. I know that sounds weird, but I just like that kind of slightly more undone, not too perfect look. And here you go guys, here are the results of the awesome battle between bowl method and brush styling. I would love to know what you guys think. Please share your thoughts with me in the comments. Now, I wanted to share my thoughts as I was really surprised by the outcome, but I had a technical problem with sound, and so although you can see me chatting away to camera, it didn't record anything. So I'm gonna have to use voiceover while I also chat at camera. I'm sorry if this bit looks really weird. Basically, what I'm saying is, I expected to love and call brush styling the winner. My hair dries so much faster with this technique, and you can achieve lots of different looks depending on the brush you use, the section size you brush, and so on and so on. It's also super easy to do, and it doesn't leave your bathroom looking like a tsunami hit it. But the bowl method blew me away in this head-to-head. My hair felt so hydrated, so soft, and I absolutely love the looser, beachy wave pattern that it created. I'd forgotten how amazing this technique could be in terms of results. So in this epic battle, bowl versus brush, I declare bowl is the winner. Guys, please let me know, who's your winner today? Is it the bowl method or is it the brush styling? I'd love to know. Drop me a comment. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care everyone. Bye.